A hush fell over the vast chamber as the tall doors creaked open. Light from countless crystalline windows spread across smooth marble floors. Dozens of alien delegates sat in silent rows, their eyes fixed on the raised dais. At its center stood the leader of the Galactic Council, robed in deep blue and silver. The leader raised a slender hand. "Naria," she spoke, her voice carrying like wind through a canyon. The single name echoed off polished walls, and for a moment the room held its breath. No one stirred, no one moved, yet every head turned toward the entrance. Through a side corridor stepped Naria. Her skin glowed with soft silver light, and her eyes were shaped like crescent moons. She walked with quiet grace, her long dark hair floating behind her. A gentle hum of energy surrounded her body, a sign of the strange power she carried. Naria paused at the threshold. She scanned the chamber with wide eyes, but the crowd did not seem to notice her. The leader's gaze was fixed on her alone. "Naria," his voice trembled as she spoke. "Why do you call me? I do not belong here." The human envoy, Captain Mira Chen, sat in the front row. She felt a rush of shock as she recognized Naria. She could not explain why. But the moment Naria stepped forward, Chen's heart pounded. She remembered the alien woman's face from a distant mission. She remembered her voice, soft and sad. Dr. Arjun Malik, the council's human scholar, leaned toward Chen. "Do you recall her name?" he whispered. Chen nodded, her eyes never leaving Naria. Around them, other delegates murmured in confusion. No records existed of Naria's arrival or history. Official logs showed no entry for her name. The leader's face was grave. "Council records hold no trace of you, Naria," she said. "Why should we believe you belong to this assembly?" Naria lifted her chin. Her voice, though soft, carried strength. "My people were the first to light this sector's stars. We shared our knowledge and our songs. Yet time and fear stole our place. Now strangers forget us as soon as they look away." A low murmur spread through the council. Some delegates frowned. Others exchanged worried glances. Shen sat forward, her hand clenching at her side. She could not allow Naria to vanish from memory again. She knew that if the council did not remember this alien woman, the lessons of her people would be lost. Chen rose to her feet. Her uniform was bright against the dark rows of seats. Every eye turned to her. "No life is too small to be forgotten," she said. Her voice was calm but firm. "If we let Naria fade today, we lose a part of our shared history. We gain nothing by erasing one of our own." A heavy silence followed. The leader studied Chen's face, then looked back at Naria outside. Wind from distant moons swept across the council hall's open arches. Somewhere, a lone star blinked in the violet sky. In that moment, the fate of an alien woman and the unity of the council hung in fragile balance. A tense quiet settled over the chamber after Captain Chen's words. The leader of the council inclined her head toward Naria. "Explain this curse of forgetting," she commanded. In response, Naria lifted her chin so that the silver light upon her skin caught every eye. "My people once filled the stars with song and knowledge," she began, her voice soft yet clear. "But a hidden force strips every stranger's mind of our memory the moment they turn away. You call my name now, but soon your minds will hold no trace of who I am or what I carry." She paused, letting the echo of her confession fill a marble hall. Delegates exchanged uneasy glances, and the pillars and arches seemed to lean in, as if the very architecture strained to remember. To prove her claim, Naria stepped down from the dais and approached a nearby delegate from the Zephyrus system. "Please," she said, "say my name." The delegate cleared his throat and spoke. "Naria." She offered a faint, sad smile. Then she waved a slender hand and stepped back. The delegate's brow furrowed. "Naria, what?" he murmured, shaking his head. "Who are we talking about?" Gasps rose through the audience. The ordeal repeated itself twice more with different delegates. Each time, Naria's name slipped free of their minds as soon as she moved away. The demonstration confirmed her words in the starkest way. Captain Chen and Dr. Malik rose together. Chen's voice rang out. I remember her name because I held my focus. I saw her face in my dreams long before today. Malik nodded, adding, and I felt a faint echo of her people's old songs when I studied the archives. Something important is missing from our records, something that belongs to every species. Their insistence cut through the rising panic. Even as murmurs grew, the humans stood firm, proof shining in their steady eyes. Some delegates recoiled at the idea of a curse that attacked memory itself. Others looked on with sympathy and fear. The council's scholar of records spoke up. Our archives show no entry for Nerea or her people. If we cannot remember them, how can we trust any testimony? Nerea's gaze stayed gentle. My ancestors built the first star lighthouse in this sector. We shared maps of safe passage. Yet every chart you consult lacks our contribution, for you have forgotten. Dr. Malik offered a solution. There once existed on Wealth 7 a device called the Mind Anchor. It could lock memories in place. If we recover it, we may break this curse. The words hung in the air like a promise. The leader frowned. Tampering with memory is perilous, she warned. We must be sure it will not harm the council itself. Nari bowed her head, her glow dimming. I understand, she whispered. But without help, my people will be lost forever. With heavy hearts, the council agreed to study the proposal. The leader declared a brief recess to consult experts and run early simulations. As the chamber emptied, Captain Chen and Dr. Malik exchanged determined looks. Nari stepped aside into the corridor's pale light, vulnerability flickering in her silver eyes. Behind her, the grand doors closed with a soft thud, and the race to restore her people's memory had truly begun. The chamber fell silent as the council reconvened. Delegates returned to their seats, minds heavy with worry and curiosity. At the center of the dais, the leader of the Galactic Council waited, her gaze steady. Captain Mira Chen and Dr. Arjun Malik stepped forward together. Chen spoke first, her voice calm. We have studied ancient texts and lost records. There is mention of a device called the Mind Anchor. A ripple of intrigue passed through the audience. Holographic star charts flickered to life above the dais, projecting a three-dimensional map of the sector. Lighted lines connected hundreds of worlds, but one planet glowed more brightly than the rest. Wealth 7, Dr. Malik said, pointing to the bright orb. Records show it once housed the largest repository of interstellar knowledge. It was destroyed in a cataclysm centuries ago, but buried beneath its ruins lies the Mind Anchor. A murmur rose among the delegates. The scholar of records leaned forward. This device could solidify memories against any force, she recalled, locking knowledge like data in a vault. If it still functions, it may shield minds from forgetting. Neri A. Malik nodded. Exactly. We believe its mechanism uses resonant crystal matrices tuned to neural signatures. With proper calibration, it could anchor the memory of an entire species. The leader's brow furrowed. Such power is dangerous. If misused, it could trap unwanted thoughts or erase free will. Chen stepped onto the floor, meeting every eye. We propose strict safeguards, she said. Our team will include specialists from multiple worlds. We will perform isolated tests before any activation. The goal is to restore one person's memory, and through that, reawaken the collective memory of Nerea's people. Next, Chen summoned a small crystal tablet. With a gesture, it displayed schematics of an expedition vessel outfitted for archaeological and neural research. The Aurora's light is ready, she announced. It carries surveying drones, excavation tools, and a mobile neural lab. We can detect residual energy signatures from the anchor and recover its core components without disturbing the ruins. Several delegates exchanged hesitant nods. The envoy of Theloris, a slender being with opal eyes, raised a question. How will you protect our minds during the hunt? If the curse strikes mid-mission, we could lose vital data. Dr. Malik answered. We will use short-term memory buffers, temporary constructs held in holo storage. If a crew member forgets Neria, we will immediately transfer their thoughts into the anchor's prototype chamber. As discussions continued, the human team's resolve shone clear. Each answer built confidence among the delegates. The leader leaned back, considering. Finally, she spoke. Very well. Captain Chen, Dr. Malik, you have the Council's approval to plan a mission to Wealth 7. But know this, your success will shake the destiny of an entire people and the unity of this council. A hush of anticipation filled the hall. Nari, watched from her place, a glimmer of hope returning to her silver eyes. Captain Chen bowed respectfully. We will not fail, she promised softly. Outside the chamber's great windows, distant stars pulsed in silent witness. The journey to break the vanishing curse had been set in motion. The council chamber buzzed with anxious voices as delegates leaned toward one another. Captain Mira Chen stood at the center, her posture steady. Dr. Arjun Malik held a small datapad, ready to present more details. Around them, beings of every shape and color waited for the leader's decision. The leader of the Galactic Council raised her hand for silence. We must decide, she said, her voice firm but weary. Do we risk this expedition to Wealth 7, tamper with ancient technology, and possibly endanger our minds? A ripple of agreement swept through many delegates. To them, memory was sacred. To risk it felt unthinkable. The envoy of Theluris, whose opal eyes glowed softly, spoke first. Our records are our identity. If this mind anchor fails, we could lose more than memory. We could lose ourselves. I vote against the mission. Several delegates murmured assent, nodding gravely. The scholar of records added her voice. I have studied countless relics. Many promised great power but brought only ruin. Why should this device be any different? Dr. Malik took a step forward. Because this device was built not for conquest, but for preservation. The architects of the Mind Anchor understood the value of memory. They created it to protect knowledge during cosmic storms. If we approach it carefully, we can use its original purpose. He tapped the datapad, projecting glowing schematics in midair. Lines traced the device's crystal lattice, showing fail-safe chambers and external monitoring arrays. We have modern safeguards that did not exist when the device was first built. The council fell silent, the gentle hum of the projection filling the space. A delegate from the Virex Collective, a species known for cautious judgment, cleared her throat. Even with safeguards, mistakes happen. This technology is alien to us. We cannot predict how it will interact with our neural systems. Her tentacles flexed in thought. Captain Chen raised her voice, clear and calm. We will not rush. The mission will proceed in stages. First, we send unmanned drones to map the ruins and test for any active energy fields. Then we recover the anchor's core and run isolated trials on neural simulators, machines that mimic a mind without risking living beings. She met each delegate's gaze. Our plan is precise. Every step is designed to protect you. If at any point the risks outweigh the benefits, we will halt the operation. The leader nodded slowly. She turned to the assembly of elders, a council within the council made of the eldest delegates. Elders, she said, tell us your counsel. The elders sat in a raised semicircle, their faces lined with age and wisdom. After a moment of silence, Elder Carey spoke. I remember a time when we lost our own world to the void storm. We had no anchor then. We watched our stories vanish. He paused, voice heavy with memory. If we had such a device, we would have saved ourselves. I vote in favor. One by one, other elders voiced support. Some delegates still held reservations, but the weight of history and the eloquence of the human proposal began to shift opinions. The leader glanced at Captain Chen and Dr. Malik, then raised her hand for a vote. A silence fell, broken only by the quiet hum of the chamber. The leader's voice rose, clear. By majority, the mission to Wealth 7 is approved. Relief and determination sparkled in Chen's eyes. Naria, standing quietly at the side, let a soft breath escape. Hope glimmered in her silver gaze. Outside the chamber, the tall doors opened at last. A new alliance formed in that moment. The Galactic Council united behind a daring mission. In the corridors beyond, preparations began for the journey that would challenge memory itself. Under the glow of twin moons, the Aurora's light stood ready on the Council's launch platform. Its hull was polished white, trimmed in teal lines that glowed softly in darkness. Captain Mira Chen made her final rounds, checking life signs and systems readouts. Dr. Arjun Malik reviewed the mission log beside her, each entry outlining a new stage of the expedition. Beside them, Neria watched with quiet hope, her silver skin reflecting starlight. As the countdown began, the mixed crew, humans, Virex engineers, Thedelaris analysts, and specialist drones, took their stations. The engines hummed to life, and the platform's clamps released. With a gentle lurch, the vessel rose. Through the viewport, the Council spire fell away, replaced by the shimmering expanse of space. Inside the bridge, Captain Chen settled into her command seat. "Set course for Welt 7, she ordered. A soft chime confirmed the navigation. The ship curved gracefully toward the distant planet, its engines blazing a steady trail of light. For the first few hours, the journey was smooth. Crew members spoke in hushed tones about the mission ahead. Malik explained the anchor's theory to a small group, flicking through holographic diagrams. Nari remained silent, her thoughts drifting to memories she hoped to reclaim. Then, near the edge of the Cobalt Nebula, alarms sounded. On the main console, a blinking red indicator warned of a systems glitch. Chen frowned and tapped a control panel. "Report," she said sharply. Lieutenant Rhea, the ship's chief engineer, looked up. "Memory buffer module is offline, Captain. Neural stabilizers are fluctuating." Her voice wavered. If the stabilizers failed, the crew risked sudden memory lapses, forgetting Nerio, or worse, forgetting key mission protocols. "Divert power to auxiliary circuits," Chen ordered. Rhea nodded and worked the controls. Lights dimmed in one quadrant of the bridge as power rerouted. The alarms subsided, but a low hum of uncertainty lingered. Malik frowned at his datapad. "This region is rich in charged dust," he said. "The nebula's fields interfere with our systems. We need to recalibrate the sensors to account for ionic fluctuations." Chen pressed her lips together. "Do it," she replied. "I don't want any more surprises." Around them, the stars outside drifted slowly past the viewports, a silent promise of the worlds ahead. After adjustments, the ship glided out of the nebula. Tension eased as systems returned to normal. The crew exhaled in relief. Nauri stepped forward, her voice soft. "I have never seen stars so alive." Chen offered her a reassuring smile. "We're almost there." On the long corridor toward the expedition decks, Malik paused beside Narita. "You're safe here," he said kindly. Nauri nodded. "Thank you. In my culture, the journey is as important as the destination." I feel hopeful again. As the planet's silhouette grew on the view screen, the bridge fell silent in awe. Welt 7 floated beneath them, a world of swirling green oceans and jagged mountain rings. Faded ruins dotted its surface, pale and haunting. The mission's true work was about to begin. Captain Chen drew a steady breath. "Prepare the descent teams," she announced. "Let's bring the mind anchor home." A ripple of determined voices answered. In that moment, unity and courage filled the Aurora's light, carrying them toward a future where memory and hope would be restored. The landing craft touched down on a cracked stone plateau beside the ruins of an ancient temple. Dust swirled as the ramp lowered, and Captain Mira Chen stepped onto the weathered tiles. Dr. Arjun Malik followed closely, carrying portable scanners. Naria watched curiously, her silver skin lit by the planet's pale sun. Around them, the ruins rose like broken teeth of a forgotten giant. Carved pillars stood at odd angles, and faded symbols glowed faintly beneath layers of moss. The expedition team spread out, sending drones to hover near the walls and probe for energy traces. Tiny blue lights on the drones pulsed in response to hidden currents. "Readings are strong here," Malik called out, pointing to his scanner. "The anchor's energy signature is nearby, maybe just meters below us." He traced a circle in the dirt where the signal peaked. Captain Chen nodded and ordered ground-penetrating probes to activate. The probes burrowed into the stone and soil, their sensors humming. After tense moments, the probes beeped twice. A low rumble signaled a hidden entrance. Dust rained down as a rectangular stone slab slid aside, revealing a dark stairway leading underground. Captain Chen raised her armored fist. "All teams, stay close. This is where the real work begins." They descended the stairs, flashlights cutting through the gloom. Ancient murals lined the walls, depicting the original builders using crystalline devices to record memories. Naria's eyes widened as she recognized her people's art. "This was our Hall of Remembrance," she whispered. "They anchored memories here to survive time's storms." Deeper in the vault, the corridor split into 3 tunnels. Each bore a glowing glyph above its entrance, one shaped like an open eye, another like a spiral galaxy, and the third like 2 clasped hands. Malik studied his datapad. "These must be memory trials. To reach the central chamber, we must choose the correct path or solve puzzles in each." The team agreed to face all 3 trials, one by one. First, they entered the eye path. Inside, faint whispers echoed. Holographic images flickered before them, memories of travelers long gone. To proceed, each person had to recall a personal memory of courage. Captain Chen stepped forward. She closed her eyes and spoke softly of her first command, when she saved her crew from a meteor shower. As she spoke, the flickering images steadied, and a door slid open at the far end. Next came the galaxy path. In the wide chamber, floating lights drifted like stars. A bridge crossed over a deep chasm, but it remained invisible until someone shared a memory of unity. Malik took a slow breath and recalled how different scientists came together to cure a plague on his homeworld. His words wove through the lights, and an ethereal walkway appeared. The team crossed carefully, the lights shimmering under their boots. Finally, they entered the hands path. The corridor narrowed, walls pulsing with warm light. Images of loss played out, families separated by war, friendships broken by fear. To calm the walls, someone had to offer hope. Nari stepped forward, her voice clear and gentle, sharing a memory of her people's first song of renewal after disaster. The pulsing light softened, and the walls parted to reveal a final door. Beyond it lay the central chamber. In its center stood the crystalline mind anchor, silent but glowing faintly. The team exchanged determined looks. They had passed the trials. Now they only had to restore the anchor's power and bring back the memory of Neria's people. As they activated their equipment, the chamber's walls began to hum. Hope, courage, and unity had unlocked this place. In that moment, Neria's eyes shone brighter than before. She felt her ancestors stirring, ready to be remembered once more. The central chamber was quiet except for the soft hum of the mind anchor. Its crystalline form towered above the team, glowing with pale blue light. Captain Chen moved forward carefully, her boots clicking on the smooth stone floor. Around her, the expedition crew set down their equipment and prepared to study the device. Dr. Malik knelt beside the anchor's base, running diagnostic scanners over its surface. "The core is intact," he reported, voice full of relief. "But its power cells are nearly drained. We will need to extract the crystal matrix and recharge it with our ship's energy converters." Chen examined the anchor's translucent panels, tracing patterns that looked like ancient runes. "Be gentle," she warned. "We do not know how fragile this thing is after centuries underground." Naria hovered close by, her silver skin reflecting the anchor's glow. She placed a slender hand on the device's side. "I can feel my people's memories here," she whispered. "They are waiting." Her words echoed softly, as if the chamber itself listened. Lieutenant Rhea and two Virex engineers set up portable power conduits. The conduits glowed when connected to the ship's energy supply beams. Slowly, the matrix inside the anchor began to pulse with brighter light. Malik monitored the readings. Power levels rising. 40%, he announced. The room brightened as energy flowed into the crystal's core. Suddenly, a deep tremor shook the chamber. Loose stones fell from the ceiling and dust swirled in the air. Captain Chen steadied herself. "What is happening?" she called out. Malik's scanner beeped urgently. "The anchor's field is reacting. It's resonating with our neural buffers." He backed away, but Nari A remained calm. She placed both hands on the crystal. "It needs a living mind to awaken fully," she said softly. Captain Chen took a deep breath. "What do we do?" she asked. Nari A looked at her with steady eyes. "Place your mind into the anchor, human. Let it lock your memory first. Then it will open to mine." Chen hesitated, then nodded. The engineers arranged a neural link helmet beside the device. Chen sat and allowed the helmet's soft sensors to touch her temples. Malik and the others watched anxiously. As the link engaged, the anchor's light flared. Images of Chen's past missions, her childhood on Earth, and her first moments in space flashed across the chamber walls. Her memories flowed into the crystal like streams of light. Then the device hummed with new energy, its runes glowing in stronger pulses. The tremor stopped. Dust settled, and a calm silence returned. Nari A stepped forward and placed her hands beside Chen's on the crystal. Together, with human memory anchored, the device began to absorb Maria's ancestral memories. Soft holograms shimmered, scenes of her people's ancient cities, their music halls, and the first star lighthouse they built. The chamber walls came alive with history long thought lost. Captain Chen removed the helmet, breathing hard but smiling. Nari A's eyes shone brighter than ever. "It works," Chen said. "Your memories are coming back." The team cheered softly, relief flooding their faces. In that moment, the true power of the mind anchor was revealed. It could restore what had been forgotten and bind memories across time and space. As they prepared to return to the surface, the anchor's glow seemed to pulse like a living heart. Outside, the ruins waited under Welt 7's pale sun. The expedition had succeeded in awakening the past, but the challenges of bringing those memories back to the Council and keeping them alive for all to remember lay still ahead. The central chamber was quiet except for the soft hum of the mind anchor. Its crystalline form towered above the team, glowing with pale blue light. Captain Chen moved forward carefully, her boots clicking on the smooth stone floor. Around her, the expedition crew set down their equipment and prepared to study the device. Dr. Malik knelt beside the anchor's base, running diagnostic scanners over its surface. "The core is intact," he reported, voice full of relief. "But its power cells are nearly drained. We will need to extract the crystal matrix and recharge it with our ship's energy converters." Chen examined the anchor's translucent panels, tracing patterns that looked like ancient runes. "Be gentle," she warned. "We do not know how fragile this thing is after centuries underground." Naria hovered close by, her silver skin reflecting the anchor's glow. She placed a slender hand on the device's side. "I can feel my people's memories here," she whispered. "They are waiting." Her words echoed softly, as if the chamber itself listened. Lieutenant Rhea and two Virex engineers set up portable power conduits. The conduits glowed when connected to the ship's energy supply beams. Slowly, the matrix inside the anchor began to pulse with brighter light. Malik monitored the readings. "Power levels rising. 40%, he announced. The room brightened as energy flowed into the crystal's core. Suddenly, a deep tremor shook the chamber. Loose stones fell from the ceiling, and dust swirled in the air. Captain Chen steadied herself. "What is happening?" she called out. Malik's scanner beeped urgently. "The anchor's field is reacting. It's resonating with our neural buffers. He backed away, but Nari remained calm. She placed both hands on the crystal. It needs a living mind to awaken fully, she said softly. Captain Chen took a deep breath. What do we do? She asked. Nari looked at her with steady eyes. Place your mind into the anchor, human. Let it lock your memory first, then it will open to mine. Chen hesitated, then nodded. The engineers arranged a neural link helmet beside the device. Chen sat and allowed the helmet's soft sensors to touch her temples. Malik and the others watched anxiously. As the link engaged, the anchor's light flared. Images of Chen's past missions, her childhood on Earth, and her first moments in space flashed across the chamber walls. Her memories flowed into the crystal like streams of light. Then the device hummed with new energy, its runes glowing in stronger pulses. The tremor stopped. Dust settled, and a calm silence returned. Nari stepped forward and placed her hands beside Chen's on the crystal. Together, with human memory anchored, the device began to absorb Naria's ancestral memories. Soft holograms shimmered, scenes of her people's ancient cities, their music halls, and the first star lighthouse they built. The chamber walls came alive with history long thought lost. Captain Chen removed the helmet, breathing hard but smiling. Naria's eyes shone brighter than ever. It works, Chen said. Your memories are coming back. The team cheered softly, relief flooding their faces. In that moment, the true power of the mind anchor was revealed. It could restore what had been forgotten and bind memories across time and space. As they prepared to return to the surface, the anchor's glow seemed to pulse like a living heart. Outside, the ruins waited under Welt 7's pale sun. The expedition had succeeded in awakening the past, but the challenges of bringing those memories back to the Council and keeping them alive for all to remember lay still ahead.